So we are here at the about the northwest corner of Tract 13 at Elk Ridge. I'm looking to the east. You can see Highway 106 over there. You can see the power line. This mowed area where we are is an existing trail. It's one of the easement trails for property owners to use to access different parts of their property. As we look back toward the west, off in the distance you can see that red truck. Now I pulled off the approach on Tract 11, and just to get a better look at the property, I left the truck there and I took the four-wheeler. I could have driven the truck here. The only concern I would have is if you were to poke a stick through the sidewall of one of your tires. I've had that happen. That's a pain, but generally this looks pretty good. So that's one way to access the property, is take the approach on Highway 11. There's another one on Highway 8. Those are existing approaches, part of the trail network. So you can take those and drive right up here, or talk to the highway department about getting your own approach in. Honestly, there are spots where you could drive a truck right off the paved road and onto the property without much of an issue. I don't know the legalities of that, but I know a lot of people who do that on their properties. It's the weekend, so we've got a little traffic on this road. We're only a couple miles out of Eminence, and this road also leads to Alley Spring about 3 miles to the west, which is a really popular destination, a huge freshwater spring. But I don't know what I was saying there. I'm going to go east on the four-wheeler here, and we'll take a look at this north end, see if there are any spots that might be suitable for building or camping on this north side. Realized I had the handbrake on. There, that's better. There's a fairly flat area right there. I thought something was wrong with my four-wheeler. I had the handbrake on. There we go. Okay, so looking back to the west, still on Tract 13. Where you can see the sign, obviously, indicating Tract 13. This is the first time I've spent any time on this property that I've really set foot on it. I've seen it from the road, and I'm surprised to see that there's a large level area off the road here. I kind of had it in my head that this was fairly straight down off the road, but that is not the case. This stays basically level, at least on this section of Tract 13, at least a couple hundred feet off that highway. You could get back in here, back in the trees, and have a very private home site right up here on the north end. I did not expect that. That's a great bonus because the power's on the north end. So if power's a concern, you can hook into it more cheaply on this north side than you could on the middle or south side of the property. We're just, like I said, a couple miles out of Eminence. We'll take a look at the rest of the property in a separate video, or maybe I've figured out how to splice them together and it'll be later on in this video. I don't know yet. But this is really a nice surprise to see this much good level land on the north side if you're interested in building or an easy to access campsite. This would be a good one. This is one of the nice tracks that goes back further to the south, and it has great access. Well, I'll say great access, and then I'll throw in the caveat that it's got great access by four-wheeler, side-by-side, and hiking boots via the network of trails at Elk Ridge. They're really not for, certainly not for cars ever, and probably not for trucks. These are really rough interior trails, existing trails, designed more for four-wheeler access. So it's well, one situation could be you have your main campsite or your home or your cabin here on the north side where the access where it has easy access. And then you have a more primitive campsite or cabin toward the middle or south side of the property where it's just completely private. These are not public trails. These are for property owners only. So it's going to stay nice and private up here. And again, more level area. This is really fantastic. There is more than enough space to have a huge yard up here on the north end. And I literally did not expect that. I thought it was steeper. Now, as we continue south, there will be some point where there is a fairly steep drop down. But it looks like it's at least 200 feet from the road, possibly 300 feet. And with this brush and these trees being so thick, you could have a short driveway going back and have an extremely private site. Looking to the west. And looking to the east. Tract 13 at Elk Ridge.